President Donald Trump. Chip Somodevilla, Getty Images. President Donald Trump will veto progressive Democratic-backed legislation aimed at paring back his military options against Iran, the White House warned on Tuesday. In separate statements of administration policy, the Trump administration opposed measures, set for a vote this week in the House, that would block funding for offensive military operations against Iran that aren't authorized by Congress and repeal the 2002 authorization for the Iraq War. Advertisement. The administration this month justified a drone strike that killed Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani in Iraq using the 2002 authorization, passed in the lead-up to the 2003 invasion of Iraq. The repeal, sponsored by Representative Barbara Lee D. Califf, would embolden our enemies, the White House contends. The 2002 AUMF has long been understood to authorize the use of force for, among other purposes, addressing threats emanating from Iraq, including threats such as ISIS, a group whose objectives have included establishing an Islamic State in Iraq and using that state to support terrorism against the United States, as well as threats directed by Iran, the administration argued. The White House also ripped the possibility of limiting funding for military action against Iran, a measure offered by Rep. Arokana D. Califf, arguing it would reduce Trump's options to deal with Iran and protect U.S. interests in the Middle East. Iran may be refraining from further aggression, following Soleimani's killing and a retaliatory missile attack, the White House said. This legislation would undermine the administration's re-establishment of deterrence with Iran, which could perversely make violent conflict with Iran more likely. House Democrats plan to vote on both measures as amendments to an unrelated House bill that has already passed both chambers. The goal is to clamp down on procedural maneuvers by Republicans that could divide Democrats. GOP lawmakers, meanwhile, complained they're being unfairly deprived of a procedural motion to recommit, the minority party's last chance to amend legislation, on major legislation. This week, we're going to vote on life and death, war and peace issues with minimal debate, no amendments and now, as I understand it, not even a motion to recommit. Rep. Mac Thornberry, R. Texas, the top House Armed Services Republican, said at a committee hearing Tuesday. I think that ought to alarm all of us who care about this institution and care about our ability to work together on behalf of the country's national security, Thornberry said. Following the killing of Soleimani and a retaliatory missile attack by Iran at bases that house U.S. troops in Iraq, the House passed a war powers measure calling for a halt in military hostilities with Iran unless authorized by Congress. Senator Tim Kaine, DVA, meanwhile, has declared that his own war powers resolution has support from enough Republican senators to pass. But timing of a vote is uncertain as the Senate churns through Trump's impeachment trial. Let's block ads. Why?